we've had some fun today, but it's time to take it to the next level because it's time for Masterpiece of the Week.
She said, list this.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, Alec.
Hello, Alec.
How we doing on this Friday?
You got a date this weekend?
No. Got a date with maybe some wings or something.
That's a good idea. Dude,
Date with a hockey game.
I've loved this Friday. It's been an F around Friday, and I've really enjoyed it. I hope the Tolos have too. What is up with this traffic now, though?
Oh, yeah. What is happening?
The show's about to end, and now we got to go sit in that.
Oh,
You're
man.
disappointed that the traffic patterns don't bend to your whim and your
What are y'all doing? It's 2 o'clock. Shouldn't y'all be at work?
That's right. It's time for Masterpiece of the Week, though, where we revisit the wild, wacky, and oftentimes very concerning things said on this very program. Usually I let someone choose who we're going to pick on, but we do have an entrant that is not here to defend themselves.
I like it.
His name is Eric Chiafalo.
Oh, man.
He said this.
Yeah. My neighbor can't get enough of it now.
I bet,
dear.
man. I get it.
He knows he's on radio, right? His wife might have heard that.
What if...
On all fours.
So,
whoa, that's a callback from the Super Bowl.
And that is a very real life alert. Where do you guys fall on the, put aside don't have an affair.
Swingers?
Don't have an affair. I get that.
Oh.
But if you were, I get the appeal of the neighbor because it's close, but it just feels like you're infinitely more likely to get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Do I need to draw that chart again about the people that I talked about a month or so ago?
But let's just say, for instance, I live in Grand Prairie. If I'm going to go cheat on somebody in Cleburne, what am I going to Cleburne for? You know, that's going to be really obvious.
Yeah.
So I feel like either way, I'm a bad liar. So I feel like I would get caught either way. So I'm just not going to cheat.
Yeah, it's like Plano and Richardson, you know? Richardson's close, very, close enough. But Allen's too far.
Can we reflect, too, on what Alec just said? He said he's a bad liar, so he's not going to cheat, thus insinuating if he was a good liar, he would be fine with that.
That's the insinuation.
Back to you, Alec.
You know what assuming does, Kevin?
Yeah.
My dad's favorite saying when I would get in trouble when I was 10. Let's see. Because of that, Kevin, you said this.
I don't care about Christmas. I don't care about Easter. That was the SEC quarterback's dad, not me. And I knew at the time, it's tough balance when this needs to be read for the sake of the story.
What holiday do you like?
I mean, obviously, I love Christmas since I was pushing that agenda on FC Dallas.
Just heard the audio. Yeah, there is a time, Kevin, where you're like, do I read this text or is it going to come off, you just change the word up. Much like last night, whenever I was at my kids' pop concert, and they were doing the Everybody song from Backstreet Boys, and there were a bunch of boys up there, and instead of going, am I sexual, they just put their hands in front of them and just nodded. They didn't say the word. They just left it at that. Smart decision.
I wish they would have edited some other parts of the show, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's a different story for a different time. I'll tell Alec that one later.
Yeah, I want to know now. But Corey made a very astute point.
I feel like there's a lot of money in drinks. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, that's the thing. I don't think you're wrong.
Go to any
racetrack. I don't think you're wrong.
You're going to see Prime, Gatorade, Powerade, coffee. You're going to see all sorts of drinks.
Well, plus they get everyone in the door with this drink that's 65,000 ounces is 99 cents, and they're making a crazy profit.
Oh,
on that.
absolutely they are. And
you're right. There is money in drinks.
I didn't even hop into beer yet.
Huh.
Or wine.
Just dive in head first.
I wouldn't do that with the wine though, because remember that grape stomping lady? She fell down.
Yeah, what a reference. That's great.
I love that audio.
Corey loves making points. This one was a lot more demonstrative, though.
My hips don't lie. That's Shakira.
If that was not about our Shakira giveaway, then I have questions.
Well, hip surgery would probably be on the way. Listen to your hips too.
Huh.
Yeah. Hey, if you get hip surgery, I don't think the way to try out your new hips should be mimicking Shakira dance moves. It feels dangerous.
That's fair. This also sounds kind of dangerous in a way.
Hey, I just stole a bunch of condoms. Now we can have sex. All right.
That was about my friend who told me that it was okay to steal condoms because the government wouldn't arrest you because you're trying to keep the population down.
Which is that That's
Kinda valid.
confusing for so many different reasons. Like, I don't know.
I was a dumb 15-year-old.
I don't think the government has specifically condom-based laws that they enforce differently because you're trying to keep the population down. I believe in some places they're worried that the birth rate is too low, so that would actually be the opposite.
He ended up having a kid anyway.
Yeah, and the point was,
Didn't work.
I don't think that's a turn-on for a lady or anybody. I just, like, again...
His kid's awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to let y'all know that dude, his kid's great. I
Well,
love him.
Ooh, question. This is a serious question.
Oh no.
Have y'all considered a Baseball 101 segment, maybe a weekly thing? I know very little about the sport, but the more I Tolo, the more I want to know.
Whew.
That could be doable.
And you know what? Maybe we could do it with Mike Bassick's voice.
We found out we have a way to make that happen this morning.
Bobby showed us today that we can pretty much get any host's voice now.
Yeah, that terrifies me. This also kind of terrifies me, the way you phrased this, Corey.
Like I said, your description really took me to the place.
All right.
Right up to the edge of it.
So that's a thing that, look, we all have our little
I'll take you
ticks with the way we speak or whatever. That's one of them for Corey. That's why I told him to restart the story, because I could tell he was spiraling in your head. This is how I envision it. Hold on. If it was Wednesday, then how come it says today? And it came out on Friday. So why does it say tomorrow? If it and like, I could see you kind of spiraling, and I was like, all right, let's reset this.
There are times when I've dribbled down too far into the lane.
You're Josh Green.
I'm underneath the basket. I have no clue what to do with the ball, and so I just step out of bounds.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and sometimes stepping out of bounds is the best decision because it creates stuff like that.
Yeah. Didn't have a fast break the other way.
Exactly.
You can live, Dan Orlovsky. You guys get mad at me for not, including myself in this. So, by request, I did include myself this week, one time only. Get your camera phones ready, because it's not happening again. Kevin, you asked me to grab this, so here you go. I have a great time with a brownie.
That's funny.
I have no explanation. I mean, it's pretty
It sounds
straightforward.
oddly sexual,
On
though.
so many levels.
Explain.
Well, the thing I really wanted was the thing you said before you played the audio, where you said, Kevin, you told me to grab it.
Yeah.
Not grabbing that.
That's true.
Or that.
But
So
yeah, I don't want to turn this into a hostile work environment.
Oh, all right. This is taking it. Well, actually, there's a great segue here. Kevin, you said this.
One of the things that
Fair.
pulled them out of D range. That was a grade about the Rangers, you jerk. Not the range. Okay. Well, like,
What is the range?
Yeah.
What is the D range?
What is
you
the
imagine-
line of demarcation?
can you imagine the society where how they're used to, like in the grocery store, they're like, you need to be 6 feet apart. If you're like walking looking for some cereal, and they'll be like, excuse me, sir, you might be in D range. I'm going to need you to move. Step away from the shredded frosted mini wheats. Step away. And they're like, they weren't frosted. And never mind. Never mind.
Well,
Next one.
again, I feel like you gave me another.
First time listener right now, and you're like, this is the show.
I would
for
turn
me.
the show off.
I would turn
and I
it
would
back.
never listen to it again.
Never not listen to it. I would be like, this is my favorite show.
Corey, sounds like you got maybe in D range.
Because you just poked me with a sharp pokey thing. The dentist. Or the hygienist. The hygienist is the one that's always like, oh, your gums, they're at a 3 or a 4. I don't know what that number is. That's a doctor number.
I know what that means.
Okay, what?
So you want the number to be lower because the higher the number is, the more they're concerned about potential like gum erosion. Because there was this.
And gingivitis.
Yes. No, you have to say it right. Gingivitis. There was this. I'm sorry. This is why I would turn the show off.
No.
There was this chart at the dentist that showed what the numbers meant, and I became very enamored with said chart and needed to learn.
Gotcha. Okay, well that was the thing. That was my sometimes they poke you and it hurts and you're like, "Oh. Would I have been bleeding had you not poked me?" is the question. No is the answer. I wouldn't have bled. But then again, because you poked me, now I know I need to do a little bit better job flossing.
Well, in that case, Corey, you said this.
You're the best I've ever had in my mouth. Ah, crap. I knew that was going to.
Oh, Alec, I forgot to tell you the other story. I will tell you that other story.
Y'all got a
Corey
lot to fill me in on.
Oh, yeah, that was a
harassing
good
a
one,
high school
actually. Yeah, that's
kid.
a really good
Whoa.
story.
All right.
I wish you would not say like that.
I'm sorry.
Phrasing.
High school athlete. My apologies.
It doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Oh, that was not.
I got two more.
My apologies.
Don't ask me why I love this, but this is just hilarious to me.
Who is Ted Cruz?
We had him on the show. You're like Mike. Mike at the Super Bowl, I kid you not. He didn't want any information sheets about anybody. He's like, I think we should just take all the guests, and when they sit down, just be like, all right, what's your deal?
Yeah. What are you thinking right now?
Oh, what you drinking? What you thinking? It is a Friday. And last one, Kevin and Corey, y'all said this.
It's like, hey, bring me the drugs.
Just one. I'll take one drug, please.
That's my vote. I really. That's.
You know, I brought this conversation up with Jess again last night, and she said, I'm really not sure if I want you advertising on the air that you wanted to try
What
drugs.
A drug.
Okay, yeah,
like
one drug, please. All right, I was going to vote for Corey's dental mockumentary Best in Mouth, but I think instead I'm going to shift to our combination of one drug, please.
And you know what? Make it a clean sweep. This is our winner.
It's like, hey, bring me the drugs.
Just one. I'll take one drug, please.
I've always loved that saying. I always do. I would like one alcohol.
If you made a dental mockumentary, would you call it You Can't Handle the Tooth?
It was such a good segment.
One more segment, Corey.
Was
20
it?
minutes.